As a product of human revolution, through natural selection, the brain can best be understood as an organ of learning, adapted for the survival of the species. We are just going to go over the basic anatomy and functioning of the brain a little bit, because whatever you know about the brain, it's better that you recapitulate it a little bit so it connects with you somewhere. And learning always helps if it is connected to something that you already know of. So a recap helps in learning. Brain is an organ which is the most complicated, most complex, and the most beautiful organ in the body, I believe. It's not very big, it's about 1,300 to 1,400 grams, but still it takes up 15 to 20% of the blood supply and oxygen supply of the body. Because it's constantly active, it's constantly doing something or other, and therefore it requires that amount of blood supply. There has been a lot of developments in the last 2 years in the field of neuroscience, in the field of new discoveries in medical or in the way one studies the brain. And these you would have heard of the machines like CT scans, MRI machines, PET scans, SPECT scans. In the last 20 years, neuroscientists and psychologists used these scans. And what they did earlier, they had information only about the structure of the brain. Now they were able to understand the functioning of the brain, especially the machine called functional MRI machine. That is, MRI stands for magnetic resonance imaging. A functional magnetic resonance imaging was used to map those areas of the brain which was involved in various types of functions. Over here you can see this person who is inside is going to be undergo fMRI. And here this magnetic resonance imaging, these machines are usually non-invasive, they are very safe, there is no radiation in that. So because of these advantages, it is possible to use them to study functioning of the brain. Earlier they used only to study the structure of the brain, then it became possible to study the metabolic activity of the brain. And now using functional imaging, they were able to see the cerebral blood flow, the oxygen supply to the brain, and thereby use they were able to map the various parts of the brain. For example, a person may be asked to tap a finger, and then as he taps the finger, which part of the brain becomes more active, and thereby the cerebral blood flow to that part increases, the oxygen consumption of that part increases, so the part becomes mapped. So such kind of procedures were used to study different parts of the brain, and they were now able to identify which parts of the brain was involved in, say, for example, reading development, reading comprehension, listening comprehension, maths, and so on. So this gave us a lot of understanding to see the differences between a normal brain, a dyslexic brain, what are the differences in children of ADHD, what differences are there in their brain. For example, what are the differences in a child with autism? How is their brain different, and how is the ADHD child's brain different from the normal brain? So you can see that those parts of the brain which show red color, and then you have certain parts which show green color, and then there are parts which show white color. And if you see the legend, the red color is indicating the parts that are becoming activated for listening comprehension. The parts that are getting activated for reading comprehension are the green areas. And the parts that are activated and showing in white are the listening and reading comprehension. So these kind of sciences improved our understanding of the way the brain functioned.